start grabbing seats. Appreciate you being here. My name is James Massey. If you missed Torence White, this is his show. Torence, raise your hand back there. Hey, Torence. This is the Torence White Show. This is Bexar County Meet the Buyers. We appreciate you being here. Typically, we have this event at our Bexar County election site. I recognize a few from that event before. We are trying a different venue. We thank the Maestro Center for hosting us here. We like it. Believe it or not, we have more seats here than we do in elections. We can actually seat 110, whereas elections only has 85. We know folks are adjusting, trying to find the spot. That's why we're delayed a little bit. Everybody here on the agenda, everybody here you see seated in front of you, everyone here either has opportunities for you to compete on as a small business, as a contractor, somebody looking to do business with the county, or they are here to talk to you about how county services can benefit your business, how you can better utilize us. Nobody up here is here to waste your time. We appreciate the fact that you're here. The one thing you will walk away from today is knowing that you did not waste your time, and you're going to say, I'm glad I came today. First things first, where's Mr. Rescue? Mr. Rescue. So we're going to kick it off. We have our Bexar County Tax Assessor-Collector, the Honorable Mr. Uresti, and I'm going to hand off the mic. We're going to talk about what the Tax Assessor-Collector does for you and does for us the county. Mr. Uresti?
Thank you. How many of y'all got lost this morning? Or was I the only one here? Okay. These guys put on a great show and a great program. They've done it for years now, and if you've never been to the Coliseum, you need to go to that one too. That's a very big event, and it's really good for small businesses. So we're gonna get started. They told me to keep it at 10 minutes, and so I'm gonna do that. And so we'll get started with our slide presentation. Okay, our mission statement is to help keep families in their homes with an emphasis on helping our senior citizens, our disabled, our veterans, and ultimately our children. We never veer from that. We do that all the time. And our goal is to be the #1 tax office, is to remain the #1 tax office in the state of Texas by providing our citizens and businesses the best customer service possible. We really believe we're the #1 tax office in the state. Some of the things that we do, we have all the taxing jurisdictions that we collect for. We do over 2 million vehicle registrations and title transfers. We collect over $4 billion, and we're almost at about 100% collection rate. We put 98% because we don't want to exaggerate. Okay, some of the things that we've done, if you've been to our office lately, you'll see that, when I first took over 6 years ago, the lines used to be outside the building. That's no longer happening, and so we've extended hours on Wednesdays as well, and we're open till 6:30 on Wednesdays, and there's a lot of people that take advantage of that. Also, if you've been in our office, you see we have the queuing system. That helps us a lot in trying to manage people that are there. And we've also got chairs now. And I'm going to tell you, we've received more compliments on putting chairs in than anything we've done. So we're really happy about that as well. Disabled citizens, those of you that have a business, which most of y'all do, is we're working hard to have better access for our senior citizens and our disabled citizens. Of course, with the help of Dan Curry and Placenta and all the different people that have helped us move that along. This is something brand new. If you haven't been to the Southside location, we have Bexar County's first drive-through, and this is state of the art. Has 3 drive-through lanes, and it's really, really cool. We really like it. Outreach, we continue to do outreach. We do that for senior citizens, for business organizations, different, just different groups. Anybody that'll have us, we go. Okay, so we sent out almost 700,000 statements, and what was really unique about this, I always thought everybody had an escrow account. You send in your money, they pay your taxes, pay your insurance and all that, and then we found out that only about 1/3 of our accounts actually have that. So some of the programs we implemented were to try to deal with this. Payments due January 31st, kind of like April 15th coming up, it never changes. So this is when your property taxes are due every year. Payment option, those of you that may not know about this. This is our most popular payment plan, and it's a half payment plan. You can pay half of your taxes on November 30th, and the other half on June 30th. So this allows you extra time. Like we mentioned in the previous slide, all taxes are due on January 31st, but this gives you an extra 4 or 5 months. So, a lot of people, we have about 75,000 people take advantage of that. Quarter payment option, and I'm going through this quickly because I'm trying to stay in my time limit here, but by state law, if you're 65 and over, if you're disabled, you're a surviving spouse, and veteran disability, you can pay your property taxes in 4 payments. But we weren't satisfied with that, so we created the state's only 10-month payment plan. There's 254 counties in the state. We're the only ones that has this. Nobody else has this. So you can pay your property taxes, your residential property taxes, in 10 payments. We've worked a lot on improving our statement, and on the next slide, I'm going to show you this bottom part. So we knew that on the 10-month payment plan, which is mostly for senior citizens and disabled veterans, we knew that a lot of our seniors don't have, aren't necessarily computer savvy. A lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't. I remember my dad was 84. I never thought he'd learn how to use a computer. Once he learned the internet, now he can't get him off it. So, it's trust me, you can learn it. But so we send this out. If you're a senior citizen, you're going to get 4 options. All you have to do is pick the one that is applicable to you. You send us a check, we automatically enroll you in the program, send you check stubs, and this is a great program. It really is. So we made it as easy as we could. On the next slide, we'll send you these statements, there's 9 of them, and of course, we haven't figured out who's only paying $22, but we're looking for that first. Okay, so this is our 2016. We got the best practices work from the state of Texas for our 10-month payment plan. We also received the national award for our 10-month payment plan. Prepayment. Okay, now we're getting to the business part. All right, so prepayment. If you own a business or if your home is paid off, this is a really good program. We designed this for the business community, and what you can do is set up your property taxes for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months. Christmas comes around, difficult month, you're trying to buy presents for everybody. You don't send in a payment, no harm, no foul, because it's your money. In October, we're going to send you a statement for the balance. So we strongly encourage you, if you are a business, to take advantage of this program. Some of the payment methods, of course, you can pay in person, you can pay by mail, you can pay online, by phone, and we're moving towards being able to do the app thing, like they go to HEB and all this other stuff. So, we're still the people that write a check, and my wife, she takes out the 25 cents, 27 cents, but there are a lot of people now that just come in there and swipe their phone and they're on their way. Reduced fees, unlike HEB, when you go and you pay $5, when you give your credit card, it's $5. Well, if you go here to the county, by law, we can't absorb that transaction fee. So we have to pass it on to the customer, but we still have the lowest credit card transaction fee in the state of Texas. We have the lowest debit card fee in the state of Texas, $1.50. We haven't found any tax office that has less than $3.95. And if you use checks, online or what have you, it's free. Automatic deductions, we set this up now where you can use credit card, savings account, or checking account. Makes it easy, it's automatic for your home or for your business, and you don't have to worry about trying to, remember to make your payment. Phase 2, something that we're working on, trying to get everybody that you'll be able to do everything from your home or from your business. So you won't have to come into the office at all for anything. Residential exemptions. The reason we continue to do this is because every time we do this, we find somebody that doesn't have all the exemptions. There's nothing more heartbreaking than to find senior citizens are paying way more money than they should be paying. They're having problems, and a lot of it because their property taxes are so high. So these are exemptions that you should have. Of course, everybody, if you own a home, you should have a homestead. Of course, you're 65 and over, disability or veteran disability, these are things you're entitled to. Again, residential only, when you turn 65, there are some good things about turning 65, and one of them is you get a tax freeze. Basically what that is, if you're 65 years old, you're gonna pay the same amount of property taxes when you turn 65, but you're gonna pay the same amount until you die. Pretty much. It fluctuates a little bit because big tax entities are in there, but the hospital district and the river authority do not participate. Tax deferrals, I just showed you this real quick. If you know somebody who's, have a problem buying their medicine, have a problem buying their food, they're 65 and over, disabled, there is a tax deferral. We all know people that are struggling out there, so we tell them, if you're unable to buy your food, unable to buy your medicines, get a tax deferral. That postpones your taxes. It doesn't make them go away. If you die, your heirs have 180 days to pay it off, but it's a state law, it's a grade 2, it's not designed for people in the Dominion. We do have one or two out there that are taking advantage of this program that owes like $300,000 plus, but as a rule, it's designed for those people that have problems, buying their food, buying their medicine. I show you this to show you how quick you can get in tax trouble. Just look at this sample. If you owe $1,000 in that date, I told you January 31st, in 6 months, you're paying 41% more. So, and of course, y'all with more expensive properties, it can really add up. So just be aware of this. Okay, appraisal district sets property values. And I show you this one because I can't tell you how many hundreds of times people say, hey, lower my property values. It's not me, it's appraisal district. You're right there at 411 Frio if you want to find it. All right, taxing entities. That's the ones, school districts, counties, they're the ones that set your tax rate. Tax attorney, that's that bad guy collects the attorney, the fee, and then the tax assessor, he's a nice guy. Okay, now we're going to take a shot at the appraisal district. So when you think you live here, but the appraisal guy knows you forget, they think you live here. How many of y'all got your appraisal notices here just recently? How many, well, if you got it, I know your property went up because unless your property goes up $1,000, you don't get one. So we've seen properties double and double every year. So it's a little crazy out there, but you can't appeal it. And the date's changed now, so you have until May 15th. You can go and protest your property value if you want to do that. And so May 15th again, we're not going to go into that too much. You have 2 hearings, informal and formal. I do tell you, if you do file a protest, if you miss your date, it's going to take an act of Congress to redo it. So don't miss your date. Rendition, let me spend a little time on this. Anybody that has a business, any equipment you have, any furniture, anything you're using to make money, you have to file a rendition. And you have to do it by April 1st. If you don't do it, the appraisal district is going to come along and they are going to estimate your cost, plus they're going to charge you 10% penalty. And we have so many businesses that miss this. I can't tell you how many we have. The other thing, if for some reason your business doesn't work out, you have to close the doors. Hopefully that won't happen. Make sure you notify the appraisal district. And because, things like this will come back and haunt you. There's been some stuff in the news just these last few days, so you got to keep up with this rendition part. All right, I think this is our last slide. If you're facing difficult times, whether it's your home or your business, and you find yourself in a position where, hey, I just can't make it right now. My staff will tell you, and by the way, they're here, David and Carly, you want to stand up, and Stephen Palacios. This is my motor vehicle director, my tax director, and my chief deputy, so they'll be around here for a little bit if you have any questions. But if you're facing a difficult time, and you're at the point where you have, if you really want to keep your home or you really want to keep your business, my staff can tell you that I have never, ever, ever once turned away a person that came to us that was sincere, wanting to keep their home, wanting to keep their business. Yes, we're going to require a contract. Yes, we're going to require a down payment, but we will work with you. Our locations, downtown, south side, northwest, northeast, we have 4 locations. We may be opening up another one in Randolph. I don't know where's that at, Dan?
It's a ways out.
It's a ways out, so disregard that last statement, all right? And that's it, we're done. Thank you so much for having us. I don't know if we're gonna have time for a couple of questions or not, but thank y'all so much.
Typically we say questions, answers for the end. Let me just say, this is a meet the buyers. A lot of folks, what we get afterwards is we'll get questions, not critical, but saying, hey, meet the buyers, want to come out and give presentations on who's buying what. The tax assessor collector and his staff are users themselves. They buy typical admin office supplies, what you would expect. But more than that, let me tell you, our office is right next to the county clerk, who I'm about to introduce. And the first question somebody asks us when they walk in is, I want to make sure I'm doing everything legal. And that means separating personal and professional assets. What's at risk? What do I owe? What's my company owe? That man and his staff is going to make sure you don't get stuff taken away. So it's important for us to have that relationship. We appreciate the fact that staff never turn us away, no matter how odd the question. That's why we bring him out, to make sure you guys understand the importance of his office, paying taxes, etc. That said, we have another elected official, Lucy Adame Park, the recently newly appointed, newly elected county clerk, here to speak to you about the importance of her office and what it is that she does. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm very proud to be here because I actually grew up right in this neighborhood. To be the first woman ever elected to the county clerk's office, it's an honor for me to. It's an honor for me to be here. I'm sorry. Honor for me to be here. So actually, DBAs, we work hand in hand with Ms. Renee Watson and her staff. And I actually have my staff here as well. Can you please stand up in the back? Thank you. So getting your DBA and assume names, it's very important, especially when you're starting a business. My staff is available to answer all your questions and provide the information that you need. It's a very, very critical time, but a very exciting time for you and your family. So moving forward, what I have done, I've told my staff, if an individual comes in and wants to get their assumed name DBA, let's go ahead and start congratulating them, bringing them down to my office. It's very inexpensive to get your DBA. If you look at it, it's only $14 for one owner. I mean, to start a business, that's very cheap. And then you have 50 cents for each additional owner after that. If you're gonna get your LLC, it's a little extra cost through the state of Texas. But it's the first step to the beginning of your life along with your family. And I've seen small businesses start from the bottom up. And I'm very proud to see that. So if you have any issues, you can personally go visit Ms. Renee Watson. Her staff is amazing. We work hand in hand. I've known Renee since the early 2000s when I used to be at the sheriff's office. I started there in 1997, left December 31st of last year. So another thing that people don't understand, your DBA certificate expires after 10 years. So you have to go in there and look into the information and make sure that you update your information and always follow through your certificates. Make sure you have the information you need in place, especially for legal issues or legal actions. You want to make sure nobody ever takes your business or, I would retain the name as far as you can, Lucy Adame Clark Inc. or Lucy Adame Clark Incorporated, whatever it is. You want to go ahead and grab the information you need. Another issue that we had coming forward, if you need to have a partner that wants to join with you, make sure you get the information you need, because when it's somebody other than your family member, you want to make sure legally you protect yourself and protect your business as well. Because, family sometimes, it's a good thing to go into business, but sometimes you run into legal issues as well. So make sure you speak to an attorney and get all the advice you need before you move forward with your business. It isn't expensive, but in the long run, you can end up into a very expensive issue. It becomes a legal issue. So another thing also, applications are available on our website. Please visit our website. It's been updated. I'm very proud of our website. And now we accept credit cards. Don't say it's 21st century. It was 20 years ago. But it took us 4 months to implement the credit cards, and I'm very excited. So For me, it was a big issue because I've been using credit cards, for a long time. I'm gonna be 47 in a few weeks. It just took a newly elected person to implement credit cards, because nobody carries cash anymore. I'm sorry, but I don't carry those 27 cents or 50 cents. Everything's on a credit card. So please visit our website, get all the information you need. If you know anyone that wants to open a business, a plumbing business, whatever it is, encourage them. We need more entrepreneurs in our community. Our economy is getting very expensive. I'm also a community leader, so I go out and I provide services through nonprofit organizations, because with the government shutdown, I saw it for myself. We were very lucky. It's hard for people like us who are working since we were probably 14 years old, and then go into a government shutdown and get into that assistance line for help. So if you know someone that is asking you for help to start a business, be that right hand for them. Take them over to the courthouse, have them come speak to Renee Watson, walk them over to our department, and teach them how to start a business for themselves. And you will be their mentor or their leader, and I'll be more than happy to accept them in my office. I'm gonna stay around because I have another event at 10 o'clock. I'm very honored to be here, so thank you for inviting us. Like I said, I'm proud because I grew up right over those tracks, and I'm glad to see many business owners here at this meeting. If you have any questions, my staff will be here after I leave, but thank you for having us. I really appreciate it, so thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we jump into the meat and potatoes of the buyers, I have one more resource partner I need to introduce. Mr. Anthony Reed, who is the San Antonio Director for the SBA. Multitude mass experience as a small business owner himself, in large corporation as well, and now he's the head of the SBA locally. So, Mr. Reed.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. And we're very proud to be partnering with Bexar County and Renee Watson. And in addition to the services they provide, and through SBA and our resource partners, if you need financing, we have a variety of financing programs. If you have credit issues, we can help you to get financing through our micro lenders as well. And then in addition to contracting with Bexar County, if you want to learn about how to break into federal contracting, please come and meet with us. Our resource partners provide you one-on-one counseling. That includes the Women's Business Center, the Service Corps of Retired Executives, known as SCORE, and the Small Business Development Center at UTSA. But we're also located in offices also in Austin. And so if you have any business problems as well, as was earlier mentioned, come and see us. We've helped to turn many businesses around, many times because they have problems. It's either a finance or a marketing problem or a management problem. And we've had many clients to help them work themselves out of that and turn those companies around. Best of luck to you, and do attend our workshops. And the training is outstanding at a very nominal fee, and a lot of them are free. And our services are free. Thank you very much.
So, Bexar County, that's my employer, Small Business Entrepreneurship Department. Our job is not to just get you opportunities with Bexar County. That's local level buying, important to us. That's why we host this event. We also try to put you in with state and federal. That's your guy. 8A program, WASB, you name it. He can get you in federal contracting. That's an extremely strong resource partner for us. A lot of folks want to look beyond Bexar County, start planning to get in GSA, for example. Extremely strong partner for us. Now, that said, Bexar County buying. Mr. Angeles with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Please step forward here. Mr. Angeles. Mr. Angeles is responsible for the day-to-day purchasing, the financial management of the jail and every other thing connected with Sheriff's Administration, and we're glad to have you here, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for all being here. I guess our mere presence here helps us to recognize the important influence and opportunities that we have with helping the economy here in San Antonio grow, with affecting the lives of all the individuals in each of our individual communities, and also the communities that we help to coexist with within San Antonio. Again, my name is Mr. Angeles. I've been with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office now for 12 years. I've been in 8 years as the business manager. As you can see, we're located at 200 North Canal Street. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office is actually a sheriff's office and has the responsibility of managing and maintaining the adult detention center. Next slide, please. One moment. So as we're moving along, just to give you a little bit of tidbits regarding the Bexar County Sheriff's Office and their law enforcement mission. Bexar County Sheriff's Office partners with SAPD in terms of the arrest process. A little known fact about how many people get arrested a day, it's about 1,300. 1,300 people get arrested a day. Now, in the arrest process, doesn't necessarily mean that 1,300 people get incarcerated. No. A lot of people bond out or given tickets or citations for their law enforcement infractions, but 1,300. Now, of that number, we had approximately 300 to 400 individuals are detained, and they're arrested, and they're booked into our facilities. So we have our detention facilities are basically in 3 different buildings. We have the main building, the annex, and a new construction, what we call the Justice Intake Assessment Center. These 3 buildings, in its totality, house about 5,400 individuals. So on any given day, we have the maximum capacity of housing 5,400 individuals. Next slide, please. Okay. If you wanted to know about the mission and vision of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, we're on the Bexar County website. The URL address is right there on the bottom and such. But if you go to www.bear.org, you'll see a tab where you can put in questions, and you can put in Sheriff's Office, and it'll lead you to this page here that talks about the Sheriff's Office mission and vision. Okay? I want to show you a little bit about the organizational chart, organizational structure of the Sheriff's Office. As you can see, we have Sheriff Javier Salazar as our top leadership, and he has Assistant Chief Deputy that assists him in the operation of law enforcement and detention. And then we break out into 3 different bureaus. We have the Adult Detention Bureau, which manages all the inmates and arrested individuals. We have the Chief of Staff and Administration Support Bureau that kind of manages all the administrative aspects of running law enforcement. And then we have the Law Enforcement Bureau, which manages the sheriffs and the sheriff's deputies who's out on the street. So these 3 tiers or branches have sub-departments under them, which in all accounts for about 67 different accounts. So we have 67 different offices that all need paper, pens, pencils, computers, contracted services to keep the operations going. Because at the end of the day, we're responsible for law enforcement within the state, within Bexar County, and we're also responsible for the safety and well-being of up to 5,400 individuals who are incarcerated per day. Next slide. Okay. Now here's a listing here of all, in our organization, that saw the chart, I have over 100 different supply custodians that order supplies on a daily basis. All these different individuals, you see here, on this column here, I have 100 supply custodians. That means every one of these lines represents an individual who's ordering supplies. So all those different offices, everybody 24/7, they're ordering supplies. Next slide, please. Okay. Next slide, please. Now, how do we do that? Well, to order supplies, you have to have money. Okay? So the Bexar County Sheriff's Office has an operational budget. Now, from this information here, I've kind of removed the salaries because you as vendors, you're concerned, hey, what are our buying dollars? What's the buying potential of the Bexar County Sheriff's Office? For our buying potential, we have a $14 million budget annual year for this year. It's $14 million that we have to spend. And so far, we've spent $9 million of that $14 million so far within our community, with different buyers that we manage throughout the state of Texas, throughout the United States, and here within San Antonio. To give you this is an idea that represents all the different buyers throughout the continental United States. Again, for fiscal year 19 so far, we've spent $10,480,000. But within the state of Texas, we've only spent $2 million. With your help and your cooperation and your becoming partners within SWIMBY, partnering with Ms. Bernays Watson's staff and getting yourselves enrolled, I want to turn that number around. I want the majority of the money to come to the state of Texas versus all the other states. And we have the power to do that through cooperations. So yourselves becoming aware of what our needs are and you meeting those needs. We're avid users of SWIMBY. These are different companies already that we so far we use. Okay? So from A to Z, all different companies and their different SWIMBY designations that we're currently using to buy services and products that we need to do business. Okay? Now again, it's not a big number. 2017 I had 5,000, 2018 I had 815,000, and so far for 2019, it's 210,000. I want to add another decimal. I want to move the decimal point to the right, one step over. I want this to grow. I want the organizations that are here to help us to do an economic reinvestment of our tax dollars, your tax dollars, of our public safety dollars back into local organizations. So with your help, we can all do this. Next slide. Now, what is it that the Sheriff's Office buys? I don't have things listed out in terms of commodity codes, but I do have listed per the type of expense that we're incurring, okay? So we go from anything regarding ammunition, for animal, food, and supplies for our law enforcement canines, motor periodicals, building equipment, cable service, computer supplies, copier contract usage, education expenses, equipment rental, food expenses, hygiene supplies, inmate meals, janitorial supplies. So this is a representation over the years of how much money we spend. We spend a lot of it. Office furniture, registration fees we pay for, safety supplies. There's a lot of dollars that are flowing for all these different types of expenses that we're incurring. Now, if you notice the top line that says warehouse shelf items, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office has to maintain a certain level of stock on hand. And so the county has an enterprise resource planning system called Lawson. And Lawson has a warehouse module, and we utilize that module to maintain supply items on hand. So there's over 423 items that we maintain on hand that we utilize for our daily operations and for the safety and well-being of inmates. Okay? And so these items, have different units of measure, be it the case, by the 100, by the bundle, by the box. And we're constantly maintaining our shelf full of these items to a certain level. Now, the good thing to the vendors is once we start running out of a certain item, the Lawson Enterprise Resource Planning System automatically reorders. And so the vendors themselves, they get a reorder of the supplies. And so our supplies is an individual in the background, monitoring, well, do I need to send another purchase order to another vendor? No, it's our loss and enterprise resource planning system automatically sending purchase orders based on consumption. And so, over here, we manage over 2,467,566 items get flowed through the sheriff's office. Next slide. Just to give you a little bit of visual representation about the things, when we're talking about the adult detention center, these are some of the clothing, bedding, and utensil items that we contract for the purchase for. Okay, we got the inmates who have to wear prescribed colored clothing, their bedding, their towels, their sheets. They consume a lot of toiletries, a lot of soap, a lot of razors, a lot of trash cans for the general cleaning of the specific areas. Almost 5,000 people tend to consume a lot of supplies. And this is on a daily basis. In office supplies, we also consume a lot of office supplies. Again, if you remember going back to that organizational chart, there was a lot of offices. Each of us uses the day-to-day automation that we have, computers, but we're still reliant, in part, on printing documents out. Remember before, I mentioned that we have arresting over 1,300 individuals per day. Well, each of those individuals being arrested needs documents that need to be signed off, reviewed, and pushed through the judicial system on paper. Some of the transactions are automated through technical means, but for the majority, it's all on paper. And as such, we have to consume and buy a lot of office supplies. Again, toner for printers, forms, pens, pencils, papers, staples, you name it, we're buying it. When it comes to hygiene supplies, again, we're also have to maintain a level of cleanliness within our own working areas, plus cleanliness for the areas of the inmates where they're being housed according to jail standards. And so we're having to buy a lot of cases of different items in support of those operations and such. Okay? So disinfectants, depending upon the gender of the individual who's incarcerated and the area that they're being housed, the ladies will have their needs and the men will have their needs in terms of individual products that are consumed in maintaining their hygiene and such. Again, on the aspect of cleaning, janitorial supplies. We've got toiletries, we've got plastic bags, we've got brooms, we've got cleaning chemicals, we have soaps, cleaning powders. All of these things are having to be bought in mass quantities for us to have it available for the general upkeep and well-being of our facilities and maintaining the health and well-being of the individuals who are working in our facilities and such. Again, the sheriff's office has a big footprint here in Bexar County. We have the main jail, we have the annex, we have the Justice Intake Assessment Center. We've just opened up 2 new police substations, and our training academy is in the process to moving to another site. So again, there's a lot of individual facilities that we have a responsibility to manage. Okay. Another aspect is I'll give a little bit of insight into our warehouse. Our warehouse, quite honestly, in square footage, is probably no bigger than this room. So we have to maintain just enough supplies on hand, forms, and the supplies I referenced earlier, to meet the needs of all the buildings and offices that I just described. So we have a high turnover in terms of stock on hand. As we order high, it gets consumed in a high volume rate. So we have a lot of turnover in terms of supplies, and we have to have good relationship with the vendors, yourselves here, essentially, to make sure that we have the stock on hand to do the job that we need to do. Again, I'm Mr. Angeles. This is my contact information here on the board. The warehouse supervisor, Richard Gonzalez, who has to be working. He couldn't join me here today, but this is his contact information. Between the both of us, we're the individuals who are helping coordinate our procurement efforts with outside vendors. But none of this isn't possible without the fine staff of the Small Business Administration, Ms. Renee Watson's staff. She's educated me a lot on it. I hope as we go forward, we're able to partner and increase those individuals who are enrolled in SWIMBY to get an excellent outcome in terms of law. Again, the dollars that we use to do our operations comes from the tax dollars. So we're hoping that we get this good partnership going. Thank you.
Thank you. Torence, can you bring the contact information up, leave that up for a second, if you could? So, takeaway, a lot of information from Mr. Angeles and the Sheriff's Office, but my takeaway, every time I hear Mr. Angeles speak is, one, he has to control a lot of stuff. Two, he has access to a lot of money. Three, he buys a lot of things. So, who had the misfortune of hearing me present in Leon Valley yesterday? Please, what did I keep saying over and over again? To buy from the Dispute Resolution Center who can help you get paid, and we do not charge for it. Ms. Elena Terrell is here from our Dispute Resolution Center to talk about how we can help you get paid.
Hi, good morning. So I'm from the Bexar County Dispute Resolution Center, and I won't take too long. The reason I'm here is just to let you know about our department. We are a Bexar County department, and we offer mediation for different kinds of civil conflicts at no charge. At no charge to any resident or no charge to any business in Bexar County. Even if you have a conflict with somebody outside of Bexar County, as long as one party is in Bexar County, we can help you, and it's at no charge. So we help with different kinds of civil conflicts like landlord-tenant issues, neighbor disputes. We've all had the barking dog, right? Next door? No? I'm the only one? Okay. And so neighbor disputes, shop visitation issues. If you have an issue with a mechanic, money owed. So if you have a client that's not paying or not satisfied or what have you, you can request a mediation. And we just go on to right here on our website. You can do it, submit it online. I actually prefer that so I don't have to try to print your handwriting when you fill it out by hand. When you submit it online, we receive it right away. We can set up a mediation as fast as 2.5 weeks outside of that time we receive that request for mediation. We will invite the other party. You don't have to call them and let them know that this is what you're doing. We will send them a letter, a county letterhead, inviting them to mediation and asking them to respond to us. Now, it is voluntary, but we're really good at persuading people why they should come to mediation. So, why should people try mediation before just going straight to court? How many of you would rather just sit down and talk about it instead of getting dragged to court? Yeah, me too. Okay, and so in mediation, you get to come up with your own agreements. In court, the judge comes up with the agreement. You have no say-so in what's going to happen. And mediation is a win-win situation because both parties, like I said, have a hand in the agreement. And so our mediators, we have 150 volunteer mediators, who are all certified mediators that are very good at facilitating mediations, helping mediation move forward into what's called a good faith agreement. The agreement would be handwritten, everybody signs it, everybody gets a copy, and go on your way. Now, surprisingly, people follow the agreements. I know that people say because it's not, from a judge, people follow those agreements. And so we encourage people to try mediation. One, what's the best part? It's free, right? And court's not free. And we can move it along in a timely manner. It is a confidential meeting, and so we don't put it on our website whenever so-and-so has a mediation with so-and-so. Even if you have a business and you have an employee they have an issue with, or two employees that aren't getting along, you can initiate a mediation and bring them to mediation to see if you can come and get an agreement, try to, solve the conflict, resolve the conflict, because that's what we do. We have an 85% agreement rate coming out of our mediations. Mediation does work. If you mediate in good faith, you're going to get a good faith agreement. And so sometimes it doesn't work, but for the most part it does. And 74% of the people who said they came to mediation said it kept them from going to court. So it really does work. We were established by Commissioner's Court to pull congestion out of the courts because mediation does work. And so we're located inside the Cadena Reach Justice Center where all the criminal courts are on the first floor. We're open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday. I think other than the sheriff's office, we're the only ones who are open that late. And for the past like 2 weeks, we've had mediations go to like 10 o'clock at night. So if you're working towards an agreement, we're not going to say, oh, 8 o'clock, time to go. And so we really, really do work with you because we want to be able to work around your work schedules. We do morning, afternoon, evening. We want to work around your work schedules. And we want to make sure that it's convenient for everybody to come to mediation and utilize our services. Like I said, we're inside the Bexar County, inside the Cadena Reach Justice Center, 8 to 8, Monday through Thursday. We're closed at 5 on Fridays. And so we also go out to different locations like Mr. Lisa does to spread the word about our services because a lot of people don't know we exist. Free mediation, you can't get it better than that. Like I said, all of our mediators are state certified mediators and they're very good at what they do. And so if you have any questions, I'll stick around afterwards. I do have some flyers just in case. Hopefully you don't have any conflicts right now. But if you ever did, you can be like, oh, lady, and you're gonna have the flyer just in case, give us a call. If you have any questions as to whether or not something is appropriate for mediation, please feel free to call us. Go on our website, like I said, you can request it online, submit it online, we receive it, we will call you right away. When we call you, we do not have caller ID, so please answer a phone call. Because when you don't answer a phone call, we can't talk to you. And so anyway, I'll stick around afterwards if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer any. Thank you.
At this time, I'll bring up and introduce our Facilities Management Director, Mr. Dan Curry. Dan is in charge of every Bexar County building, admin, everything goes into that, new construction, you name it, he's over our facilities.
Thank you, James. I know I've talked to several of you before. This will be a regurgitation of some of our previous stuff, but I want to let you know that, as James said, we can't contract with you, but you don't know who you are. So it's be a common theme of my presentation. So we go to the next one. Next slide, we'll get started. So facilities management is in charge of maintenance, operations, and renovations of all county-owned buildings. And we even do some leased facilities. So that's right now about 32 facilities and about 3 million square feet. So it's custodial services, it's HVAC services, it's parts, plumbing parts, it's toilets, it's services for pest control, it's everything you can possibly think of for vertical construction or vertical maintenance. Okay? So we go to the next slide real quick. He's working on it. His computer's frozen. That's Bexar County technology. We have about 100 team members. Again, that fluxes vacancies and everything else. There's maintenance mechanics, there's capital projects managers, we have architects, engineers on staff, we have chiefs, we have plumbers, we have electricians, we have a whole spectrum of people that provide facility services. You go to the next one. Don't remember what the next slide says. So as we're getting that settled, so we're going to be leveraging a couple databases when we do procurement. Okay, the 2 databases, and I'm going to say them now, and I'll say them again. The Small Business Office has a CDMS system. It's a B2G system. And if you're registered in that system, you will get emails from us about open solicitations between $5,000 and $50,000. Sometimes it may go to your junk inbox or your firewall or anything else, so check your spam folders. But if you want to get notices from us about solicitations between $5,000 and $50,000 for everything that we do, whether it's pest control, whether it's buying a bunch of paper, whether it's buying mop heads or anything else like that, please register in that system, apply the correct commodity codes, we do keyword searches and commodity code searches, and we send it blasted out to you. So you may get 13 emails in a day because we do that many solicitations. I think in the last 2 months we've done over 50 outreaches through that system. So get into CDMS if you haven't already. So you will see stuff from us, from our department, if you're in that system. And we're buying commodities that relate to your business. So we do several things. We leverage professional services, construction services, and operational and maintenance services. Because those operations are break fix, sometimes they're improvements, sometimes it's replacing carpet, sometimes it's tearing up other things, sometimes it's taking a large Roto-Rooter appliance into the jail because somebody's flushed bed sheets down the toilet and flooded an entire living unit. It's all the kind of things that we do. Some are emergency related, some are not. But again, we have an operation, our total budget is about $13 million a year, a fraction of what the sheriff's office is, obviously. But we buy and procure services about half of that, about $6 million a year that we actually do business. We go to the next one. So, of course, as a county department, my county department is facilities management. We report to the county manager's office, which is David Smith. And there are two policies that we comply with. Obviously, the purchasing policy that's adopted by Bear County Commissioners Court, and our current SWIMBY policies that were adopted and updated in 2017. So those specifically say how we should procure goods and how we should do outreach. Okay, so we are guided by those particular things and have to comply with those policies. So here's the breakdown. I want you to highlight a couple words here to see where you're going to look for these particular solicitations. So the informal solicitation is that $5,000 to $50,000 window. We initiate that process through the department. So my project managers, my division chiefs, our managers are putting together a CDMS outreach email with a scope of work, anticipated if we need a pre-proposal meeting, we need specifications on exactly what we're buying, and sends that out to a mass of potential bidders. Right? There may be a pre-proposal, there may be not, just maybe a due date for your price to send it back in. You don't have to do that in person, you don't have to timestamp it, it just needs to be in the inbox as a response by the time. Okay, that informal solicitation, lowest responsible bidder wins. Obviously for bidding, hey, we need you guys to renovate a small office and it includes fire alarm and electrical, and you exclude electrical, you're not totally responsive in that bid. But again, we don't have a lot of those things, and that stuff for construction to go through the purchasing department. But for those informal solicitations, the lowest responsible bidder is going to win, and we initiate that by department. The way you get those notifications is through CDMS. Okay, so if you're in CDMS, you will see those. That's the way we blast the outreach. That is not in the newspaper, it's not through the purchasing portal, it's through CDMS. Okay, so if you want to see those informal solicitations below $50,000, that is the place to get registered. Okay, above $50,000, everything goes on the street through purchasing. So $50,000 and above, we put the scope of work together. We work with the purchasing department on creating the IFP, CSP, RFP, other alternate delivery method, and we put that on the street. Newspaper advertisements, pre-proposal meetings, the whole shebang. So if you look at our categories in which we are dictating which way we procure services, that $50,000 to $3 million mark, there's not a whole lot of risk with doing a hard bid scenario. So if we do work, whether it's construction, and this is typically related to capital projects when we talk about these larger numbers. So up to $3 million, you're going to see stuff from us that's hard bid, which means that it's probably very specific work, and the lowest responsible bidder is going to win. And that process is always through purchasing. So again, purchasing has another database. It's the vendor and supplier register portal, and I'm sure the purchasing is going to talk to you about that. Get in that system, because when you get in that system, you say, hey, I'm a guy that does flooring. If there's anything related to flooring that we're putting out, you're going to get an alert, or you should get an alert through the system. Again, I know people have told me before at these events, hey, I never see these notices. Again, sometimes these emails are spam folder emails, sometimes they get caught up in other things. Please check those things on a regular basis so you can pull those things forward. Everything we do in durations is going to be weeks and months, not days. So we're not going to put out a solicitation and ask you for a response in 3 days. It's going to be a 2-week window minimum. So please check that on a regular basis. Between $3 million and $6 million, we'll probably leverage CSP or RFP, which is some evaluation criteria and costs. And I will tell you, lately, we're going to do that more with service contracts. I know everybody in the room, maybe you have service organizations, pest control or other things. We know that the lowest bid on service contracts isn't always the responsible thing to do. So we think for the taxpayers, we need to get a valuable, a good value, reliable contractor to do that work for the right amount of money. Sometimes that may not be the cheapest price, but it may be the best value for the county. And so we're going to leverage that RFP process. You are going to see in the next, for instance, last Tuesday I was directed by Commissioners of Court to put a $3 million plus custodial RFP on the street in the next month. So if anybody is interested in custodial services, the county's going to go out to the market for all of our buildings and leased facilities in the next 30 days for custodial services. Okay? And that's a $3 million plus annual agreement. Right now, we don't know what it is. The market will tell us what it is. But that's a large process, and it's going to go through the purchasing department. And that's going to be an RFP, which means we want to see qualifications and we want to see price. And there'll be a team of people evaluating those and then making recommendations to Commissioners Court, which ultimately executes all these contracts. $6 million and above. For instance, Pam's going to talk to you real shortly about a Bear County parking garage she's building for us. JOERIS is. It's a $20 million project. Again, we're going to leverage alternate delivery methods. If anyone knows about general construction, it's design build, it's seeing the risk. It gives some clarity for the county on how to do those larger things. We're going to select those seeing the risk partners and those RFP or those design build partners through an RFP process, which is an evaluation and dollar amount process. And it's always through the purchasing department. So again, I know the small business meeting is not the time to talk about large $20 million projects, but she's going to talk to you about subcontracting opportunities on that particular project here really soon. The next one. So, I know one of these pictures looks like a mugshot, and the other one looks like a real picture, right? So in the back of the room, there's two guys. So these are probably some of the two most important guys that you're gonna meet today. I left a bunch of my business cards at the table, but these two gentlemen are in charge of all of our facilities, maintenance and operations. So they take care of 1.5 million square feet every day. They have over 100 employees working for them. They manage service contracts, break fix, all those other things. Everything except for building new construction and renovation, they're in charge of. So if you have services you provide, plumbing parts you provide, or anything else you want to provide, that you want your name on a list or in somebody's Rolodex, those are the two guys that I urge you to reach out and touch. And I told them they have to stay here until you get to them. Okay, so those two guys, Gilberto Davila, who handles our detention division, which is about half of our building inventory, that charges the jail-related items, and the sheriff's office, I know isn't here anymore. They buy a lot of consumable commodities. We buy and we replace all of the detention toilets, all the detention lights, all the detention locks, security electronics, cameras, all those other things that are very specific to the operation, the physical elements of the jail. Jose Chiralba is our administrative chief. He handles all of our stuff in our courtrooms. So it's carpet, it's electronics, it's security cameras, it's ID cards, it's all of that things you can possibly imagine. We even procure American and Texas flags for all of our facilities on a monthly basis, because we have 32 of them and they wear out. So that's we buy almost anything you possibly think of in our facilities. And those two guys each have control of about $6 million in budget that they control every annual cycle. So go to the next one. And I just love the picture. So I emailed them yesterday, I said, hey, I need a headshot. And so, of course, Jose has a nice one, and then I get a booking photo from our other chief. But, so here's the contact information. Because you guys want to take pictures of this, of course, I'm going to force them to stay here. I'll be here as well for the duration of the meeting. My cards are on the back table if you guys need them. I dumped them all over there. But again, anybody can email me anytime. If you want 30 minutes to tell me how you do your business or what you do, I'll take any meeting. Okay? And my guys in the back will as well. So if you want to tell us what you do and how you can support us, we'll do that. Of course, we're limited. We have to put all this stuff out for solicitation. So just be aware. Be in those two systems, CMS and purchasing. And you will see stuff from us that we're asking for pricing and services. Right? If you wanted to get on this guy's Rolodex about, hey, if you have an emergency and it's $1,500 and you need this, those two guys have the ability to purchase that direct. Okay? So, of course, I'm Dan Curry, I'm director. My contact information is there at one of the simplest emails in Bexar County, dcurry@bear.org. The other guys are Jose Chiralba and Gilberto Davila. So, with that, it's kind of quick and dirty. I'm trying to make up time for James here, but we will be here for the duration. If you guys have questions, I don't want to put it massive, but we'll be here to answer any questions, and then we look forward to hearing from you. Appreciate it.
Dan mentioned CDMS. If you are trying to do business with the city of San Antonio, with Bexar County, with SAWS, with UHS, pretty much anybody that takes your taxes or you pay utility revenue to, we all use that system, CDMS. Is anyone in here certified as a SWIMB, small minority woman-owned business? You are certified by the RCA, the HUB? Okay, so you are automatically in CDMS because that is the system that our organization uses. You do not need to be certified, you do not need to be a SWIMB, you do not need to be a minority or woman to be in CDMS. But for us to contact you, for Dan, for Gilberto, for Jose, to know who you are and what you sell, you need to be in that system. Who runs that system? Me, Brian, Torence. If you need to get in there, and everyone in this room does, if you did not raise your hand and say you're certified, if you don't know what CDMS is, if you start writing down, hey, I need to find out what that is, I need to get added, one of us in the black shirts here. We'll get you in there. Dan mentioned every single solicitation below $50,000 is going through CDMS for facilities. With that said, a lot of our offices are using that system more and more. So it behooves you, again, if you want to work with any entity that's either taking your tax dollars or you're paying utility revenue to, be in that system. We'll get you with our partners. But to work with us, that's how we contact you first. Now, JOERIS. JOERIS is serving as CMAR on the Bexar County Parking Garage we have coming up. Ellen Ward and Pam, I will butcher her last name, so I'm going to ask you, please introduce yourself. Yes?
It's Pamela Monzagimba, Senior Project Manager on the building or the parking garage that we're going to be doing. Once again, my name is Ellen Ward. I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Manager for JOERIS. So I'm your bridge to the operations team and to our pre-construction team so that you can get on one of our projects or several. Next slide, please. Here's our diversity statement. This is located on JOERIS.com. And it's so you know our commitment to diversity. We definitely want you on our projects and we want to give you those opportunities. Mr. Curry, Dan Curry mentioned before that he'll do one-on-ones. I'm actually that bridge if you want to do that with our project teams too. Some of you guys might not know this, but if you've been on our projects and you haven't been able to get an opportunity with JOERIS, you can get a debrief. So you do need to reach out to me and then I can get those set up for you. You don't have to record me, it's okay. Next slide, please. All right, and so this is kind of the breakdown of how we do the commitment. So you can see that on the website as well. You can go ahead and click on the next slide, please. Okay, so I'm going to kind of walk you through the vendor registration. You're going to want to go to joeris.com. From there, you're going to see some links up at the top of the screen. Typically, it's going to be in the right-hand corner, and you're going to click on the link that says Subcontractor. Okay, from there, you're going to go to another site, and then you're going to see where it says Register Online, and that's going to be at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see. It's easier to see on the website. Once again, joeris.com. Click on Subcontractor, and then click on the Registration Online link. That's going to be at the bottom, okay? From there, you're going to go to our bidding portal, which is SmartBid. There are digital plan rooms. There's ways that you can actually do bids through there if you guys don't have your own bidding system. So it's very helpful. Myra Schwartz is also a small business coordinator, and she can kind of walk you through SmartBid. She's the guru for SmartBid. Please fill out all the subcontractor registration information with as much detail as possible. Say that again, as much detail as possible. If you offer several services, put all the services down. The selection. I'll just talk really loud. The selection, oh, it's better. The selection is where you put what trades or what scopes of work you offer. So make sure that you click all that you do. If you offer several services, click them all. If you're not sure if you're registered, go ahead and try to re-register, and then if it says you are and you don't know your password, Myra Schwartz will get you your password, okay? So once again, as much detail as possible, select as many scopes of work that you provide, and then after you do that, next slide please, you should receive an email confirming that you're fully registered. From there, you'll have your username and your password. Okay, and it'll also tell you Myra Schwartz's contact information. From there, you should start receiving invitations to bid. So I just said, if you've been bidding on JOERIS projects and you haven't been able to get on there, that's great. Send me an email and ask for a debrief on why you weren't selected, and I'll set that up with our lead estimator. All of that information is going to be on that invitation to bid. Okay? So it'll have who the lead estimator is. Just say, hey, Ellen, can you please set me up a meeting with, say, Andrew Chagall? And I'll say, sure, give me 3 dates and time that work for you, and then I'll align it with Andrew's schedule, and then you can say, okay, Andrew, can you kind of walk me through the bid that I sent to you and where I could have altered it, okay? Once again, all that information is on the invitation to bid. Next slide, please. So I have to reiterate, JOERIS really does want to work with you, but you also have to understand that we're looking for the best value for our client. So just because you're low doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to be awarded the project. You need to make sure it's best value as well, because sometimes you may bid too low for what it actually does cost. So to get best value, you kind of want to follow these things. Proposal evaluations, the bid day proposals, scopes and cost leveling, past performance and references, and then of course certifications. You don't have to be certified, we can get you certified. If you do qualify, we prefer for you to go ahead and bid, and then we can work with you and this certification agency to get you certified. So bid now, if you qualify, let us know and then we'll help you out. We're a big supporter of the certification agency. Next slide, please. All right, Pamela.
Good morning. Just want to touch briefly on safety. Safety is our top priority. We want everyone to be safe to go home. At the end of the day, to your families. Kind of covers a lot here. A couple of things to, we require full PPE, 100% hard hat, eye protection, safety vest. We're working on an occupied campus or in the case of this garage rebuilding, the inside of an occupied building, have background checks, fingerprint background checks are a responsibility for everyone to get. Whoever's working on the site has to have a badge with the check. We require training. We expect certifications for training, forklift, aerial lift, that kind of thing, where it applies to your scope of work. Next slide, please. Additional items, ladder safety, very important, like I said, for everyone to get home at the end of the day. Crane usage, there's a different checklist for that. Underground utilities, just being aware of what there is before you dig. We have an extensive safety department at JOERIS that is there to help make sure that everybody gets home at the end of each day. Next slide, please. So contracting with JOERIS, once you're selected to be on a project, as Ellen had talked through that process, then it all gets started with getting a W-9 to us, then you get entered into our system, and you're issued a master agreement. This is a multiple-page contract that covers the extent of working with JOERIS. Once that is executed, then each individual project, you'll receive a project-specific subcontract that pertains to that actual scope of work. Next slide, please. So now the project that we're here to touch on is the Bexar County Parking Garage. Please, next slide, please. This is located in the middle of downtown. It's 1 block south of the historic courthouse. Next slide, please. So you can see our site here with the courthouse is on the block above. A lot of construction going on in the area currently. Most of those streets around the area are closed for all the work happening. We will be, this garage will be built like 6 inches away from the existing Federal Reserve building that's now referred to as the Archives building the county owns. You can see on the side there's 2 small buildings to remove. It's currently parking. Remove that and then come up, next slide please. Come up with this 8-level precast parking garage. It's about 720 spaces on it. The first level, however, is about 35 to 40,000 square foot of occupiable space. I think the current tenant is kind of leaning towards the Bexar County IT department, BCIT, and then there will also be housing the new wellness center. Next slide, please. So this just kind of gives you a massing of the precast components of the garage. Next slide, please. So a list of all the trades, because it's more than just a garage, it has this large office component item of it. It's the litany of trades on any building. We're going from demolition to a brand new, fully functioning garage with the office space on the first floor. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I got it one more. Time frame, that's always important. We anticipate bidding late spring, which is coming up like late spring of this year, next couple of months, and then start of construction this summer. It's about a 16-month project. Construction, we're working Monday through Friday. We'll work longer when necessary. We'll be utilizing lean practices, lean principles using the last planner system for the scheduling of the work of this. We'll also be doing just-in-time deliveries, which kind of becomes a necessity when you're downtown surrounded by streets on 3 sides and there's no room and thousands of people every day in the area. We have weekly meetings in order to coordinate the work, pre-installation meetings for each trade. And then, as I mentioned, because of where the building is, it is full badge background checks, and then it also requires certified payroll. That's a county requirement for construction projects. So the targeted goal swim meet participation is 20%, and that is our goal, and we will exceed it. On the last county project we did, we hit 50% participation when we have the same 20% goal.
Okay, so I have some action items for you, and I also kind of want to make an announcement before we finish. Kind of different than Bexar County. If you're interested in working with JOERIS on other projects, we have the University Health System renovation project coming up, which is perfect for swimmies. We'll give you the opportunity to get in there of a small project, and then maybe possibly work with us on a larger project in the future. We're going to be doing a tower at University Health System that'll come down probably around the end of the year. And we have an event tomorrow at the JOERIS office. So that is targeted towards swimmies, and we really hope to see every single one of you that are interested there tomorrow. It starts at 9 a.m. and the JOERIS office, all that information is on the JOERIS website, joeris.com. And 823 Arian Parkway is where we're located. It starts at 9 a.m. You can register online, go to our LinkedIn, and there's going to be a post about it, and just click on that, and it'll take you to SurveyMonkey. You should receive a thank you for registering email to kind of confirm. If you're not able to register, it's okay, just show up. We just want to see you there. We want you to have the opportunity to hear about these different types of works for you to possibly go on. So again, that's tomorrow, which is April 12th at 9 a.m., JOERIS office, University Health System renovation project. Action items for you, get involved. Please, 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 if you can, join an association. There are membership fees, but they come with tons of benefits. You're going to get in front of us even more. We can get to know you, build that trust between each other. We're a part of AGC, ABC, ASA, which is the American Subcontractors Association, BCA, Black Contractors Association, Hispanic Contractors Association, and then of course we're supporters of the Small Business Association. Please get certified. That helps us so much, because not only do we get access to the certifications agency's database, we can invite you to special events like the one we have tomorrow, but you also can help us share with the community, like, no, they're here, we're working with them, swimmies. Get registered on joeris.com. If you're not registered with us, you really can't get it, so you have to do that. Please do that. joeris.com, once again, subcontractor link and then registration. Once again, if you have problems with that, you can reach out to me, and then I'll get you in contact with Myra Swartz, who is the administrator over our Sundt portal. Get a mentor. That could be somebody who does the same type of work as you. Bexar County has a great mentor program. I suggest you apply for it. And then also you can work with somebody as maybe a second or third tier sub. You may see the number $20 million or however much the project is, and think, wow, that's too big for me. No, it's not. Go find a mentor. Maybe you can work with them. There's a lot of work to go around. And then follow through. As I mentioned, if you do bid on a JOERIS project, I can set you up on a debrief. Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for sticking through. I know these presentations, they take a long time. We're trying to get a lot of information out to you. In the same vein of construction, I want to bring up the Sundt Davila team. We have Paul Castro and Juan Adiaga. We're going to speak to you about a project we've had going on. Bexar County's investment in this is about $100 million. We started back in August 2016. There's still releasing phases for construction. So that's it, Paul.
See the cool slide over here. But, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about an ongoing project that we have. It's a joint venture between Sundt Construction and Davila Construction. Davila is a minority company that we've joint ventured with, and been a great partner on this. Right now, if you go to the next slide, too. This is the San Pedro Creek. It's basically runs from Santa Rosa on the west side of downtown San Antonio all the way to I-35. What is it? It's a historic redevelopment of a creek with emphasis on flood control. So, and along that, we're building a world-class linear park. So not only are we enhancing flood control, we're also building a park along there. So as you can see some aerials up here, this is the first, I guess, phase 1.1 that's already been complete. We had to complete this by May of 2018, right? And it was for the tricentennial party they had. This was kind of groundbreaking for the first section. The next slide.
So we talked a little bit about the first phase, 1.1 there. As you can see, phase 1 is broke up into 3 segments. 1.1 is complete. We're currently working on 1.2. That's going to be from Houston Street down to Nueva Street. Right now, you'll see that that's under construction. There's a lot of fences around there. You probably can't see too much in it, but we're doing some drill shafts, we're doing some concrete work, some wall work right now in that area. And go to the slide, Joe. Next slide. These are some kind of pictures of what was completed in phase 1.1. So this is off to the left there. That's the inlet structure, and then on the right is the original one. This is between Santa Rosa and Martin Street, so you can kind of see it was just a concrete line ditch. Now we've created like a walkway, similar to the river walk, but for people who go jogging, bring their family jog, enjoy the park. This is at Travis Street. If you drive by there, there's a big shrimp-looking deal. So behind there, that's coming on street. So this was designed to look as a shrimp as a representation of the roadway there, and that was basically that's a tunnel inlet structure. So basically, what that is doing is it's managing that gate flow of the water there. And then Travis to Houston. This is just I guess east of that is where the Clerk is working on the Frost Tower, the new tower. So that's right across the street. So I don't know that this is the road's not accessible now, but you can go through the park and then it kind of ends right at Houston and phase 1.2 starts. There we go. Got a little delay. So phase 1.2, that's the area like I said earlier. That's from Nueva down to from Houston Street down to Nueva. And this is kind of what it's going to look like. So this is under construction. So right next to, as you can see over here on the far left picture, that's the Alameda Plaza at Houston Street. So right to the, east of that, we're going to drop that down to lower level, and they're going to create a plaza there for some seating. So they can host events, dancing events, all kinds of stuff. We're going to put a paseo or access along Alameda, and that's going to lead you into what's called the Alameda Gardens on the next slide. And that's going to be down at the lower level. What you're going to see here is, so you've got Commerce Street running north-south here, and off to the left is Alameda Gardens. But again, you're down at the lower level where Penner's parking lot's at, right down Penner Street. There's going to be a 280-foot waterfall structure there that kind of overflows from the park down into the creek. So it's going to be pretty nice looking, pretty good. From Commerce down to De La Rosa, you're going to get down in the creek again, and you're going to be able to see some murals that are going to be put up. These are just kind of renderings. We're not exactly sure what the murals are going to be yet, but some artists are working on that. And there's going to be some tile murals, 5 or 6 of them, between Commerce and De La Rosa, what they call Calder Alley. Okay, segment 3 is in the design phase right now. Segment 3 and phase 2 are currently being designed by HDR. This is kind of just a generic rendering of the 60% drawing that was put out, but it's still in the process. So this is another section from Nueva to Graham. We're going to kind of keep the same theme. So just south of there is where that federal court, the new federal building is going to go. And then we'll keep kind of the same paseo, the walls, and the walls, the sheetrock. The walls, the drill shafts, the bridges, all that is going to be reconstructed. Phase 2 goes from Guadalupe down to South Alamo, and again, it's a generic rendering. It's still under design right now, but this is currently going on in the design phase. Some of the opportunities that we have for you guys in phase 1.3 and 2. So there's going to be some CPS gas and electric. There's going to be MAT block walls. So those are the big limestone blocks that you see stacked out there. There's going to be trucking, obviously. We got to move some of those dirt out of there, bring in other materials in. Paint, irrigation, and landscaping. Irrigation and landscaping is a huge package. Obviously, you saw that. It's a landscaping project. So there's side electrical. You don't see that because it's underground, but there's lighting throughout the throughout the project. Wayfindings, tile installation, masonry stone, bridge demolition, new bridges, and then drill shaft, sheet piling, milling, and asphalt. So all these are things that we're looking to partner with on to complete the project. So you asked yourself, when is this stuff coming out, right? So we got 1.1 complete, 1.2 is currently under contract, and phase 1, 3, and 2. We're currently in the design phase today. We're looking at having some early release packages in November of 2019, so that'll be like the utility stuff, your water, gas, sewer packages, and then the rest of the package, which would be the paseos, the drill shafts, the walls, the bridges potentially, the perk work, trucking, all that stuff will be sometime in the time frame of March 2020. So if you can, that's about when we'll start putting out invitations to bid for this work. And we'll start construction sometime in quarter 2. So we got other projects going on besides San Pedro. I know that one's kind of a little further out, but we're also working for the city of San Antonio. We have the Broadway project, the revitalization of Broadway, and right now, basically what this project consists of is kind of like a road diet. I don't know if you ever heard that term, but basically they're wanting to shorten the roadway traffic and enhance the pedestrian traffic. So they want more pedestrian traffic going along Broadway. So we're going to widen the sidewalks and we're going to shorten the roadway. There's going to be a couple of celebrated distinctive segments. So each segment has like its own little theme, and they want to unify the corridor with wayfindings and signs along that corridor there. That's that project runs. If you go to the next slide, basically runs from Houston Street downtown all the way into I-35, and it has similar work at San Pedro Creek. There's a rendering of kind of what it's going to look like. It's also an architectural type project with landscaping and architectural features. So they're going to kind of show you before and what they're thinking about doing. So they're going to dress up the intersections a little bit and then put trees and landscaping and lighting and architectural features along the corridor. This project is scheduled to start. It's already started. So we're in design phase. It's a design build project in the city of San Antonio, and we're currently in design. We're looking at having some early release packages September of this year, and those again would be the utilities. It's a huge utility project. I don't know if you guys know anything about Broadway, but there's utilities running any which way you think. It looks like a spaghetti bowl down there. So there's a lot of utilities on this project, and we're looking to have those out to bid sometime in September of this year. Followed by the rest of the packages, which would be in the December 2019 timeframe. And then construction completion in December 2021 is what we're targeting. So that's going to be out over the next couple of years. These opportunities, we have CPS gas, water, electric, sewer. There's going to be rebar installation, trucking, irrigation, landscaping, site electrical, wayfinding, paver stones, concrete, ready mix, and rebar. So all these things are similar to San Pedro. We're going to be looking at partner on. Again, similar to JOERIS, we use the best value criteria for trying to select vendors and subcontractors. So it's not necessarily who's low. It's more about can you perform? Do you have key resources? What's your safety ratings? Price is a factor in there. It's obviously it's a factor for everyone, but it's not all the entire factor. So just keep that in mind when you're putting your proposals together for us. With that. Yeah, you do get points. You have certifications, minority certifications, and all that. It's we have goals just like all the other contractors. The goals are set by Bear County and City of San Antonio. Like on San Pedro Creek, our goal is 30%. We're also exceeding it. We're planning to exceed some of these other goals we have as well. How to get involved? You need to go to the Sundt website first of all and get involved there. This gets you on our vendor list, right? This area down here, and what we can once you go through and you fill out all this paperwork, then we're gonna be able to send you invites for these projects on SmartBid. And then it's just following up based on the instructions of SmartBid. You know, we'll tell you how the scoring criteria is gonna take place, you know, what the points, how they'll be evaluated. And then we'll even sit down with you after the fact if you're selected or not selected, and we'll go through that with you as well. So, we have in the back, we have some koozies with our pre-qual number on there. We have some business cards as well. I'm here, Juan's here, and we got two other gentlemen, Joe Witherall and Mithil with Davila Construction. So if you got any questions, we'll be here till the end, and you can ask us. So, thanks for your time.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Yeah, and I definitely encourage you, if you want to get involved in these projects with JOERIS, it's definitely register with them. So up next, we have Jesse Garcia from our Public Works Department to talk about the latest that's going on with Public Works. Come on, Jesse.
Thank you very much, Torence. Good morning, everyone. My name is Jesse Garcia. I'm one of several capital projects engineers for Public Works underneath Engineering Services Division. And I'm here to talk about our upcoming construction projects. Please have a slideshow presentation. Sorry for that. Here we go. While this is loading, I did provide a handout. It should be probably in your bag, if not up front. It is basically a summary of what I'll be presenting to you this morning. It has some helpful information. I'll probably skip through these slides pretty quickly, but again, the majority of that information is on this handout. An overview, I'm going to talk about again our transportation construction projects, which entails not only our road and bridge transportation projects, but also our flood control projects, and our recently acquired RMA projects. We have a total of 38 active projects at the moment, 16 currently in construction, totaling about $112 million. We have 22 in the design and planning phase as well, which total about $182 million in construction dollars. It's pretty much the overview map. It's kind of hard to see what's going on there. It's because of how small it is, but it kind of shows pinpoints where all of our projects are currently. We do have a majority of our projects on the west side because of the ongoing development out there. There's a lot of growth, a lot of boom, residential development going on the west side. But we do have other projects everywhere else as well. Again, now into the three types of projects we have. We have transportation, flood control, and Alamo Army projects. On the transportation funded projects, which is through the road and bridge fee, the tax fee, we have a total of 15 active projects, 18 construction, about $74 million, and 7 currently in design, which would be about $52 million, which I'm going to go a little bit into detail on these next upcoming slides. So out of these seven design million, these are three of our current projects. We have anything from subdivision jobs, construction jobs, to expansion jobs, road expansion jobs, to bridge jobs, and etc. Right here we have sanctuary subdivision job, about $2 million. Watson Road is an MPO job. If you ever see MPO next to one of our job names or pass-through finance, it is a federal project. So we do have a required DPE goal. Usually depends on the type of the project, but it does vary from 4% to 7%. The lower percentage is because the project's fairly large. We have one project in construction right now. It's a $50 million job, 4-mile, 5-mile job, and as a 4% job, 4% out of 50 million, that's a lot of money out there. Again, Rock Road, another small way construction job. Next slide. Again, we have some 3 more federal jobs here. We have a Dawn Road, an expansion job on the west side, and PO again, federally funded, so it has a DPE goal. SH211, that's one of our largest projects we have in design at the moment. If you've ever driven on the west side, on 211, there's 2 segments of 211. There's a segment between US 90 and Petranco, and then it just T intersects and ends. And if you go on to Colebra, 471, 211 continues all the way to SA16, Bandera Road. Well, this project is a missing gap. We're going to close that gap with 211. So it's 8 miles of new construction roadway through virgin land, went all through Bexar County, even going into Medina County and coming back. So it's a pretty large project, good project. The next project I have on there is Boarding Phase 5, another federal project in PO. Again, DB required DB go. And then the last one, is Fisher Road, another smaller project. That one's going to be a full concrete pavement project. So this is pretty much the proposed advertising schedule for these 7 projects. As you can see, we're all looking at having all of them advertised this year. With 1 year, Fisher 1, hopefully in this quarter. I think I had a mistake there, I'm sorry, second quarter. So I think we're looking at Fisher hopefully by June or May, and as well as Century Subdivision. And then with the remaining, the 3rd quarter and 4th quarter, all should be advertised again this year. To our flood control program, it was a $50 million, I don't think I said it on there. It's a 10-year program, $50 million. It did finish end last year, but we do still have some remaining projects. They're still finalizing the design. There are about 8 or 7 projects, which I'll go into. Currently, again, 11 active projects, 4 in construction, totaling $26 million. With 7 currently designed, totaling about $50 million. Again, I'm not going to go into detail of all these projects, but they all vary in size and depth. Some are water crossing projects, we're adding bridge class culverts or bridges. Some are channelization projects. It's a lot of earthwork involved. Just big drainage projects. As far as these projects, there's again about 7 of them. 4 are going to come out in the 3rd quarter, probably in the late summer. We still have 3 other projects on there. It's TBD because we have some issues with easements or just property, so we're still not sure when those are going to come out. Now to our Alamo RMA funded projects. As stated earlier, Bexar County did acquire the Alamo RMA. A lot of people think of RMA, think of toll projects. You have NTTA, Fort Worth, you have CTRMA in Austin, you have Hectra in Houston. Fortunately or not, or unfortunately, we weren't able to have any toll projects here in San Antonio. They're all voted out, but the RMA was able to utilize a vehicle registration fee funding. Every time you register your vehicle, you pay $10 into that registration fee. And so with this registration fee money, it was mainly for mobilization projects. So the RMA was able to fund some of our very funny projects. So currently they have 10 projects, 2 currently construction. They have about 8 coming out still, and hopefully this year. Again, I'm not going to go into much in detail, but most of these projects are added capacity jobs. They're large arterial jobs, consisting of again asphalt, sidewalks, curb, some bridge structure, storm sewer system, and majority of all these projects also have utilities as well. Again, this is the overview of the full advertising schedule for these R&D projects. We are looking at advertising them all by the end of this year, with one still kind of phasing, still in planning phases, and for the bottom, that's why we have TBD. Next slide, please. So again, this is our 12-month forecast. Transportation, we have 7 projects that we'll probably advertise this year, about $53 million flood control, 4 projects. RMA, 7 projects, $75 million totaling, about $147 million this year in advertisement. Again, this is all on your handout as well. Just this quarter, which be April, May, June, we probably have 5 projects in advertising. 3rd quarter, late summer, probably another 10 projects, and then at the end of the year, 3 projects. Now we go into how to get information about these projects. Our section utilizes SIPCAS USA. It's an awesome resource. We upload all of our plans on this site. We upload them at the 30, 60, 90, and final stages. We upload any crucial information about the project, not only the plans, the bid documents, any environmental documents, the bid docs, etc. At each phase. Can you go back there, James? Sorry. Thank you. Not only that, but once you log into the site and register, it is free to users. We pay $100 to upload a project, but it is free to everybody else. You could browse through any of our projects, you can start tracking the project. So every time we upload a submittal or a bid doc, it will notify your email that we have updated something related to that project. Not only that, but you are able, as you're able to download the plans and all the information, you can also look at who else is downloading the plans. So you can see a JOERIS or Yantis or all these prime contractors, and they'll give you information on the name, email, even phone numbers to contact that prime and to help offer your services for that project. Again, this is probably the best thing you get from this presentation is this website. Not only does Bexar County utilize our section of this site, but the city of San Antonio, Travis County, Harris County, there's all counties all over Texas that upload the project using USA. Again, in summary, I have some contact information up there. Our engineer services manager, they are our admin number, email, the Adam Army operations engineers, which is email. Again, name and number up there. This is all on this handout as well as the CIPCAS information. And that, just my presentation. But I will be here after the whole event at the end if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesse. Again, if you're interested in finding out more about this project, please do talk to Jesse. I think this meeting
Harwood, one of our buying staff, and in the back, Mr. Aaron Andrade, one of our business analysts. So we'll be available after this presentation to answer any questions you may following this presentation. So just a brief overview of what we do. The purchasing department is responsible for the correct appropriation of tax dollars. We ensure and promote fair and open competition in the procurement process. And we are responsible for buying and procuring goods and services, as you have heard this morning, according to best value for the county. This is an organizational tree that we have. Our office is comprised of 18 individuals. Our purchasing agent is Ms. Mary Quinones. She is the head. Starting on the left side, we have our buying staff who handle our informal solicitations and our delivery orders or purchase orders. We have our contract specialists who handle delivery orders as well, and our formal events. We have 2 senior contract specialists. We have our fixed asset team who are in charge of tracking and monitoring all of the fixed assets countywide. Those are items, commodities 5,000 and over, as well as any high-risk items, weapons, technology, things like that. We also have a purchasing business analyst team. Those 2 individuals, make sure you write those names down, make sure you remember these names. These will be helpful later down the line. That's Ms. Carmen Leos, and again, Mr. Aaron Andrade. Our admin support, Priscilla. And we also have a credit card program in Bexar County. So in addition to purchase orders, we do provide our end users and departments with credit cards that will allow them to make on-the-spot purchases as needed. So to do a high-level overview for our procurement process, we operate among 3 different thresholds. And so as you can see here, it's 5,000 and under, over 5, under 50, and then of course anything over 50. Anything under $5,000, we operate with, it's at the end user department level discretion. So a department or end user can submit a request to our office, and we can proceed with a purchase order as long as they have something in writing, an email, a fax, something to lock in that price. If it's over $5,000 and up to 50, this is where we start posting solicitations, formally and informally. So this is where you start with your RFQs, your IFBs. We post those on our website, which I will show you in a minute. Or we have the option based on the good or services being procured, the option to get 3 quotes, maybe $6,000 you're looking for office supplies. We won't bid that out formally. We'll get 3 quotes. Or we have cooperative purchases, which we utilize about a dozen or so, and those include cooperative contracts and state term contracts. So that's LIBOR, Tex-Mass, DIR, National IPA, to name a few, interlocals, Houston area, Galveston, TIPS system. So if you have any of those or you participate in any of those, we accept those offers as well. And when you give over $50,000, that's when we start with our formal bidding process. That is something that purchasing will put out on the market for competition, and that does have to go for final award to Commissioner's Court. Just some of the types of agreements that we handle, everything from software licenses to individual delivery orders, purchase orders, professional services. As you heard, Mr. Curry, state facilities, professional services under $50,000. You can get those through CDMS through their notifications. Requirements, contracts, construction, which you heard Public Works say, we post on CityCast, interlocals, and those cooperatives once again. Then if we can take a chance to go to our website, you can go to bear.org, and it's purchasing and procurement, or you can just type in Google Bexar County purchasing, and it should be the first link that pops up. So this is our Bexar County homepage. There are 4 areas that I want you to be mindful of, and first thing is the purchasing supplier portal. So this morning you heard a lot of registrations and databases that you need to get entered for, SWIMBY directory, CDMS, things like that. If you want to do business with Bexar County, you need to register in our supplier portal. So if you go ahead and open that in a separate tab, please. So you click on that link, and by registering in our supplier portal, you'll be able to receive notices of any of those opportunities that we post on our website. You'll be able to receive notifications via email. That will also allow us to send you out purchase orders, delivery orders, as well as our auditor's office get payment out to you. So there is no charge to register, and we do have staff in-house who can help you with that process. There is a link, which I also have handouts of in the back, step-by-step guide on how to register window by window. You need further assistance with that, you can always contact our office, and our team will guide you through that process. And then when you want to see what opportunities we have available, on the left-hand side, if you can open in a separate tab, please, above the solicitations construction, that'll take you directly to the CityCast page, and that's all construction projects that Public Works is posted. So if you click on that link, you're going to get automatically sent to CityCast. If you want to see everything else that we have going on, if you can go back and just click on solicitations, which is in the middle there or on the left-hand side. You'll be redirected to our open events or solicitations page. So anything that the purchasing department puts out as an event, whether formal or informal, you will find it here. We encourage you to bookmark this page. Again, if you want to do business with the county, make sure you register in our supplier portal. Make sure you continuously monitor this page. As you can see, these are some of the events that we currently have available now. We have everything from debt collection, seating replacement, to transmission services, playground improvements. And so these are all currently available opportunities. Once you register, there is no charge to access this website. There's no charge to view the solicitations, download those documents. There's no charge to submit or bid. And then if you want further information on our contacts, just on the left-hand side there, purchasing contacts, that's phone numbers and emails for our office. And before you reach out to these other departments, to these end users, again, please make sure you are registered in the supplier portal. If you want to meet with them, you want to meet with us, that's usually the first thing that we'll ask you is, are you registered in the portal? Just something to be mindful of, please do make sure you go to our website for information and opportunities. We encourage you to avoid third-party websites who may also post this information. If you want to just click on any of these events, please, just so you can see what the public will see. So you'll have your event summary, open and close dates, description of the event, the point of contact. At the very bottom, you'll see any attachments or project documents that you need to find. And then back up at the top on the tabs, there's also a Q&A form. On the far right, those are questions that vendors or the public may have submitted online. So you'll be able to see any questions or clarifications that are being asked for this event, as well as any amendments that we post. So again, make sure you are looking at our website. Make sure this, you want to get the latest addendum, the latest information, dates and times. Make sure it is there.org purchasing, and that's solicitation. That's all we have for now. Like I said, it's a very high-level overview. We will be available afterwards for any questions you may have. This is a meet the buyer, so we are your buyers. If you have a business, if it's anything the county is going to buy or purchase, please come see us. We can help you out. If you need assistance registering, if you need assistance bidding on an event, we offer that to you. We can help you with that. We'll guide you step by step. And we look forward to meeting you. So thank you all very much.
And I just want to add to that, matter of fact, we have a training on April 25th, that's Thursday, for anyone that wants to register as a vendor for the county. That training will be held from 9 to 11 at our Bexar County Record Center. If you're not able to make it in the morning, we will hold an afternoon session from 2 to 4. And we have some flyers in the back for that event. How many of you are Spurs fans and you're glad to see that they're in the playoffs still and everything? Good. I mean, just okay. All right, well, we got Davila from Spurs Sports Entertainment to talk about what she has to offer.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Davila, and I'm the purchasing manager for Spurs Sports and Entertainment. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation. It's being revamped, and so is our registration online, so we will have that available to everybody, hopefully soon. I'm here to talk about a little bit about what the projects that we have coming up. We don't have huge projects like construction like these folks do. Ours are more geared around layoffs right now. So what we're looking for right now immediately is promotional vendors that do items such as, t-shirts, like 18,000 t-shirts with quick turnaround, maybe different kinds of gift baskets and things that we can give out to our fans, because we're all about the fan experience at our basketball games. So that's part of what we do there. And then on the event side, we're going to have our big, huge event for this summer. It's going to be River City Rock Fest. This year it's going to be a 2-day event. We're expecting 25,000 people each day. It's a huge event for me and my staff. What we're looking for right now is anybody who does temporary fencing, who does porta potties. We're talking about maybe about 180 to 200 porta potties, if not more. Food vendors, because we have now the city heat, so we're looking for food vendors. If anybody's interested, please see me about that as well. Furniture rentals, tent rentals, artist temporary trailers, just signage, banners, some construction as far as building stages and things like that. We might have some opportunities there. The other thing is our building is getting old. Our building is 17 years old this year. So we will have some construction renovations towards the end of summer. I'm not sure what that looks like yet. I haven't gotten any of the specifics on that. We look for landscape folks. We look for people that do repaving of the concrete, the parking lots, because after River City Rock Fest, the parking lot will be pretty torn up. So we try to do that parking lot at least twice a year, and that's a pretty huge project. We'll put that out for bids, because it'll be a big project. So we have some partners in-house, which is baby restaurants, and they're always looking for kitchen, maybe people that repair kitchen appliances, people that have kitchen utensils, things like that. And then our other partner is Airmark. They do cleaning supplies. They do all our cleaning, our janitorial. So they're always looking for cleaning supplies, and they're looking sometimes for temporary. If anybody does staffing, they're also looking for temporaries to go in and help them. I think that's about it. Mine's pretty short and sweet. We do look for swim meet, if at all possible. We back at least 20%. We're glad to report 63% of our spend this quarter went to small businesses and local businesses here in San Antonio. So my goal was to be at 50%, and we have exceeded that for the last 2 years. So if you are certified, that would be great. If you're not, that's fine. We will still be with you, and we will help you get certified through the agencies and through RCA as well. So if anybody has any questions, I will be here till the end of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, well, that is pretty much the end of our event. I just want to thank you all for attending. My name is Torence White, and I'm with the Bexar County Small Business Entrepreneurship Department, where it's our mission to build small, minority, women-owned business participation on county projects through connections with profit, nonprofit, and private sector business efforts. As many efforts we can get on there. And I want to thank the Maestro Entrepreneur Center for letting us hold this event here. As a matter of fact, we have someone representing it to share a few words with you.
Thanks for being here. So some of you are not familiar with Maestro. Maestro has been here for 3 years now. We are an incubator and an accelerator. So that means that if you have a business and you are looking for a location to grow your business, this is the right place. We have 24,000 square feet here. We have office space starting at $450 a month. But if you don't have $450 a month, but you still need an office space, we have desks starting at $50 a month. I would like to invite you to come over, and I'll give you a tour of the facility. I'll show you the office spaces that we have available. We have also several programs to help small business owners to take their business to the next level. We have a 10-week program where you're going to learn the basics of financing, marketing, and so on. And we have events throughout the year to help small business owners. Events very similar to this one that you were attending today. The main one is going to be on May the 9th. I'm leaving the flyers over there. It's a whole day event. You can come and you can choose what you want the events that you want to attend that pertains to your business. Thanks so much for coming to Maestro. I'll be there in the office if you want to come over and see the facility. I'll be happy to give you a tour. My name is Valjean, but everybody calls me Wally. Thank you.
And thank you all again for attending, and please feel free to talk to anybody from JOERIS, Sundt, as well as from the different Bexar County firms, as well as Spurs Sports and Entertainment. Thank you all again, appreciate it.